construction project, and as many things as I can get involved in, really.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the facility you helped design in your school district, and then about the recent physical education athletic construction?
Yeah. I don't know if you can see, I'm currently sitting in the wrestling room here. Let me try and unplug this for 1 second. The light's off over there. As I walk over here, I'll talk a little bit. So we hadn't had a wrestling room in Holmen, and I'm being the head wrestling coach. It was a challenge for me to try and coach and have a facility and offer kids an opportunity to be able to practice in a time when they could still get home and have dinner with their families. So one of the things I advocated for was that exact thing, that family time should be able to happen. Like, it shouldn't be that if you're an athlete, you never get to eat with your family, and that your schedule is from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. I just didn't think that that was fair to anybody. So that was kind of the platform that I rode for a while, going to school board meetings, was able to corral a bunch of people to attend a meeting, parents, I should say, to speak on the behalf of, the opportunities that we offer are fantastic, but the facilities don't match the volume of people using them, and that, being able to give them the opportunity to have time to do homework, focus on academics, be a student athlete. So we kind of went that route, got the referendum passed. Once the referendum passed, it began the planning stages. And one of the things that I realized in getting the whole thing going was that if you really want it to be what you want it to be, you have to be involved from the very beginning to the end. And so that's what I did. I jumped into every committee, board, research group that I could potentially find, and helped plan and design it. I think in the beginning, a lot of the things happened at the district levels, but I was able to work alongside the district and convince them that it was really important to get the input from the user end, which they instantly agreed. And so they started forming some subcommittees. So the people who would be utilizing the space got a lot of input as to what they wanted to see. We got chances to meet with architects, kind of talk about what our vision was. And then from there, some initial designs came out. Then those subgroups kind of went away, and the people that were really dedicated to those subgroups, like I was one of those people, got a bigger handle on helping make some decisions. Myself specifically, I got to entirely design the weight room, basically from top to bottom, with the idea that we wanted to train a certain way. Is it real shaky when I walk? I can head down there too.
No, go ahead. Walk and talk.
Okay.
Steve kind of showed me around on FaceTime the other day. That's
Who
pretty.
did?
Steve.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But so then as we got into designing things, I want to say I earned the trust of the district to design the weight room with kind of my expertise and a very distinct vision on how we wanted to do things athletically and in physical education. And then I always tried to lump those things together. One, because it's my job. We're a school first, obviously we're providing education, but two, there's no reason why they can't coexist and operate on the same type of an idea. And so being a phy ed teacher in the district, I'll turn this slide on. Being a phy ed teacher here and a coach and trying to stress the importance of them coexisting was a big help. So when I was designing the wrestling room and weight room, I took into consideration a lot of things to make sure that we had academic reasons behind decisions. This is space. There's 27 racks in here.
The whole class.
So, anyways, when we were making decisions with like wrestling room and weight room, it was like, okay, I've got this wrestling room. It's a giant space. How are we going to use this as a physical education space? How are other sports teams going to use this when we're not in season? How can we make this available to our student athletes 24/7 and not just during wrestling season? And when those things started coming together, those ideas and visions, it was just easier to get it done, to get more space, more dollars allotted to your direction. And then the same thing with like the weight room. I went as far as I worked with the company that we ended up picking for the racks, and our racks are 100% custom made. These racks, I don't know if you can see this right here, but normally this would be the bottom. I helped them redesign this so that these can just lower.
I'm interviewing right now.
And then we were able to get a 5-inch step for our APE kids.
Oh,
So
cool.
we're doing step ups and things. We're going to try and be as inclusive as possible. So one of my things with the company was, we're going to spend $220,000 with you. I want this. And I picked them because they said they can do custom work. I said, I want this weight room to be exactly the way we want it. And we want APE kids to be able to use it. So our wide aisles for wheelchairs, all of these details went into the thought process. And it drove the price a little bit, but it was a really easy sell because we were our particular rack has things designed on it that so
Kelsey,
I wanted everything.
Will you let everyone know I'm going to be like 10 minutes late in there? Okay.
Guys, Kristen's going to be 10 minutes late. We're doing an interview right now. Just heads up.
So these
What?
These are all attached to the bar. Bands, everything is attached. Everything is off the floor. That was a safety thing. I was able to prove that our other weight room was somewhat unsafe based on how things were laying around and people were moving about it, and cleanliness was an issue. So when you kind of lump all those things together and do a pitch to the school board and tell them why you need the money, and it's for education, it's for APE students, it's for the inclusiveness, it's for sanitation and safety, it's just really easy to sell. And that's the route I took on all the projects I was involved, from locker rooms. I got to be involved in locker rooms, weight room, wrestling room. And that is how you get people moving in the direction you want to move them in.
And the motivation, right? Like that stuff, you didn't just have an idea, there's action behind it.
Yeah, a lot of meetings, a lot of presentations, a lot of conversations with the principal and superintendent. But just being the expert that you think you are. Like, I mean, I was able to confidently stand there and say, listen, in this weight room, this is what we're going to be able to do, and this is what we need to do. This is the equipment we need to be able to do it. That really was a good. If you can be the expert, you can really win them over. So.
Well, and thinking about more than just yourself.
Yeah. There was some other committees that tried to be very greedy, like we'll be the only group in here using this type mentality. They did not get the things that we were able to get on the PE side of things, because we tried to figure out every way possible to use it. And it's going to utilize every minute of the day. So, we even have, in the wrestling room, we have turf that goes out when it's not wrestling season to turn it into a quiet space.
Kelsey, do you want to pick 2 questions?
Okay.
Yeah, and then do you want to mute your mic when you're not talking, because there's a lot of feedback on your end?
Yeah. Okay. 2 questions. When disagreements or challenges occurred, how did you overcome them?
I am the type of person that when I get my mind set on something, I don't take no for an answer. And so I took that attitude into my meetings. And if I didn't sell it well the first time, I regrouped and tried to figure out a way to really sell it a different method. And again, just stepping back and thinking about, okay, this isn't my space. This is our school space, our community space. How can I sell it for the school and the community? I also did some fundraising on different things to prove that, hey, listen, I'm not just asking you for this. I'm willing to put my efforts towards this and get things going. I think like in the wrestling room, I used wrestling money, some fundraisers. We ended up contributing like $42,000 towards that room to get it to where it is now. And when you're willing to put that kind of money forward, they're like, okay, yeah, they're very serious about this. If this is something we need, and so just it's just a strategy. It's like trying to win an election. Like there's like literally steps you're trying to do to sell what you need to sell. Just regrouping and talking with people. I have a great staff here that work with me, and they're creative. Your professor knows all of them and how great they can be. So.
Okay, and last question. If you could go back, what would you have done differently in the design process?
There was a point in the summer where I kind of thought everything was going well, and I kind of backed off my nosiness. I used to come into the facility every day and just look around at the construction and make sure that things were kind of like where they needed to be. And in that process, I caught a few errors, like, hey, wait, that music station can't go there. There's a rack going there. Like, that can't go there. So I caught some things before they were done, like the weight room floor. I talked to the flooring guy and was looking at his plan, and I was like, this is an old plan. We got to get you a new one. This is not it. And he was like ready to lay the floor. So that could have been like a $50,000 cost, a change order type thing. I got a little lax once I thought everything was going. And when I came back in, our wrestling lifts were too close. And so one is not usable, and it costs $30,000 to move it over to where it needs to be. Had I walked in the building, I would have noticed that. I just kind of got complacent with like just thinking that everyone knows exactly how things should be and look. Not to say that the construction people are not the problem. It's when you're dealing with architects and they draw the plan, you talk to them and you just assume that it hit the plan. You actually have to know how to read the blueprints, look at them, walk in the space, look around. You already know where the equipment's going. That's the part the architects don't know. So when they draw in these last minute things like this vent here, like I ended up with some vents in the wrestling room. The walls are supposed to be padded, but I got a 6-foot vent in the wall for air exchanger. So that vent shouldn't have been there, but because I didn't walk in and see, like those are the conversations I never had with the architects. They just assume like, oh, this wall's available, I can put a vent here. So little things like that got changed along the way that you have to problem solve later or spend money on later. But I just don't know if there's a good solution for that, because unless you're like hovering over there every move, you're going to miss things. But I definitely got complacent there for a week or two and stopped coming in and came back to a few disasters.
You were out fishing.
I actually probably was taking some time to go fishing, to be honest with you, or just like a mental break. So just got comfortable with everything and slacked off. Yeah.
You're such a slacker.
Sometimes.
No. All right. I think that's all we got. Thank you so much for meeting with us. We appreciate learning about the process. You're inspiring and motivating for us to think about. I always tell them, like, my husband complains about my couch. I'm like, well, if you would have gone with me to pick it out, you wouldn't complain, and so just that idea of like, keep your trap shut, and if you want something done, take action and get it done, and cover your bases and be the expert and think about everybody involved. So such good nuggets of information from you.
Great points. There are teachers complaining, like, how come we didn't get any of this? And the first thing I said to them, I don't recall seeing you at one meeting when we were planning. That's probably why you would have nothing right now.
Yes.
So, yeah, put the time in. It'll work.
Yeah. Very cool. Thanks so much, Jason. Appreciate it.
Great.
Good one.
Great job with your classes and good luck with your learning.
Yeah, thanks. See ya.
See ya.
All right. All right, I will see you guys on Thursday. Thursday, we're face-to-face for grant writing. Cool? All right, bye.